Week 6 of the 2011 legislative session was characterized by a strong pushback to the continued attacks on Florida's working families. Wednesday was Governor Rick Scott's 100th day in office, and workers across the state gathered in places like Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Jacksonville, and Tallahassee to present a comprehensive performance review of the governor's first 100 days. The performance review presented a dismal take on the governor's tenure thus far in terms of job creation, his attacks on the unemployed, his historic cuts to public education, and plans to force Medicaid patients into for-profit HMOs. The event in Tallahassee was marked by a press conference in the Capitol building.
How do we look into the eyes of teachers who sacrifice their very own families to educate the future lawyers and doctors and senators and scientists that will lead this country? How can we look in the eyes and say this is acceptable? This is not acceptable, Governor. This is why we give you an F. This is why we say this is unsatisfactory. Let's get to work on real change. Thank you.
Following the press conference, a large group headed to the governor's office to present him with a copy of his performance review.
We're just giving the CEO of Florida, Rick Scott, his management performance evaluation for his first 100 days in office, so we can see where the stakeholders and shareholders of the state of Florida are with his performance for the first 100 days. So if you could just give him this and let him know that the shareholders of the corporation of Florida are troubled by what has been happening these 100 days, and we just want to let him know that hopefully his actions and his policies will change for the next 100 days.
Later on Wednesday, Senate Bill 830 was up in the Senate Budget Committee. The worker gag bill was met by over 150 workers, local elected officials, and students who protested this attempt to use big government power to silence Florida's unions. The mayor of Sunrise had particularly harsh words for his fellow elected officials.
I come here today about Senate Bill 830 and I ask myself, where does this fit in the agenda of education and generating jobs, of balancing the budget, of supporting our municipalities, of saving our homes, preventing foreclosures? What are you doing? I want to know where this fits in a time dedicated, fits to the things that we expect of you as a municipality, that's struggling with homeowners losing their jobs, losing their homes, about education that's getting hammered, about inadequate resources. Where does this fit? We haven't asked you for your help. We haven't asked you to come and assist us on this. We've asked you to assist on other things like pill mills and OxyContin, and that took a long time to come, but we didn't ask you for this. So I understand that there are reasons why this may be happening, and I want to address those. We enjoy a positive relationship with our unions because we think they're part of the solution, not part of the problem.
On Thursday, Senate Bill 1610, that chamber's attempt to undo the constitutional amendment on the state minimum wage, was up in the Senate Governmental Oversight and Accountability Committee, where over 24 members of the Working Families Lobby Corps was on hand to raise concerns over the bill and its impact on low-wage workers.
It's going to affect everybody. So I'm going to leave the technicalities and everything to all of you, but just please consider that we have families, we want to pay our bills, and we want to be able to support the communities. Thank you.
I've also worked in jobs where I was just slightly above minimum wage. And when minimum wage went up, I got a raise. So I know what it's like to be in that category, and I would just like to suggest that we should be looking for every way possible to raise minimum wage for the people that work in that category, because I know for myself it's a hardship.
Another frustrating but empowering week in the Florida legislature. Check back here in 2 weeks for the next legislative video update. Solidarity.